Hey everyone, Wyduck here again with Game 2 of a Best of 3 series from the WCS Season 2 European Edition. And this time, on Derelict Watcher, you've got spawning in the top right as the Blue Terran. And the winner of Game 1, representing Mouse Sports, we've got Lucifron. And Lucifron's opponent, spawning in the bottom left as the Red Protoss, representing NRSoft, we've got Welmu. Now Welmu does have a bit of work ahead of him. He has to win the next 2 games to claim victory in this series, as he, unfortunately for him, lost Game 1 in a 30-minute tussle with Lucifron. And for a while there, it looked like Welmu was ahead and he might pull out ahead, but unfortunately he was not able to seal the deal. But I think on Derelict Watcher, it might even prove to be even a larger problem for Welmu, and I'll explain why. Derelict Watcher is a very large map in a lot of ways. The encounters that can happen, because there's so many areas where it's just totally wide open. Generally, that's not a great position to be in, especially if you're a Protoss player. There's a lot of Protoss engagements, especially in mid to late game, revolve around Sonic Storms, Colossi Fire. So this is a lot of splash damage sort of things. And so it's very difficult sometimes to get a really good engagement to do sufficient storm damage. Now, in Game 1 on Belshir Vestige, there's a lot of areas where it's a lot tighter. There are a lot of ridges and ramps. And so a few well-placed force fields in conjunction with some psionic storms, it's a lot easier to get good contact with those area of effect spells. So that might be one thing that might be working against Welmu in this game. Now, that might not come into effect at all. If this game is really short, then it might not work out that way. And it looks like Lucifron is going to be opening up with the Reaper opening once again, just like he did in Game 1. So he really favors that sort of Reaper scouting and harass technique. Now, we do have a proxy pylon immediately set. Well, this is pretty near the center of the map, but it's on the south quadrant of the map below this ridge. So generally, as a scouting Reaper or an SEV, you're not going to be able to spot this. So we're going to be seeing... We are seeing the Warp Gate and Stalkers. This might be a Stargate proxy. If I had to guess, I'm guessing a Stargate proxy. No, we got a robotics facility, so it looks like it might be some sort of immortal push. Very interesting play. The Reaper is going to go into Welmu's base immediately. Not able to scout out that much. Doesn't see the Nexus. So Lucifron is thinking, well, what is Welmu focusing on? Now, at this point in time, at about the 4.5-minute mark, he's got to be thinking there should be a third pylon somewhere, but he doesn't see it. So Lucifron has to be thinking that something is up, something is very strange, and unfortunately he loses the Reaper as well. And he'd be right, as there is a proxy pylon near the center of the map. So Lucifron has already committed to building his second command center. And with that reactor on that lone barracks, he's going to be bunkering up, and he's going to be producing Marines full-time, as well as Widow Mines. I think this is wise, because he knows something is coming. He doesn't know what exactly, but something is coming. Now, we do have observers coming out of this robotics facility, and this is very strange at the 5.5-minute mark. You might be thinking that might be a Warp Prism or Immortal. I initially thought it would be an Immortal. There we go. The first Immortal is going to be training. Now this bunker is going to finish up, and Lucifron is going to be able to deflect this Stalker away. And the Stalker is going to find some refuge just at that lower ramp there, wait for reinforcements. Lucifron is going to try and prepare for this. Now, I do find this a little bit odd that Lucifron isn't building more production facilities. He has a starport up. But if Immortals come, he might have some problems just defending with a lone bunker. Now, once again, because his scouting was... well, he was able to scout out this base, but he wasn't able to scout out that there were 2 more gateways on the way, and the Reaper was lost at that point, and he wasn't able to scout this robotics facility in the middle of the map either. And so for Lucifron, he's kind of left in the dark exactly about what is coming. Is it going to be a Stargate? Is that what is coming? He's not sure. Is it Phoenixes? He's not sure. And so he hasn't even really bunkered up either. And now with this second additional proxy pylon at the natural, this is going to be really difficult for Lucifron to defend against because he only has one bunker. If he had an additional 1 or 2 bunkers, he might be able to defend. And now the positioning of the siege tank is really in a forward position. These Immortals are going to be able to munch down on that siege tank. There we go. The siege tank is destroyed very easily. And now that supply depot wall is going to fall as well. SCVs have been pulled off the line. I think Welmu is in a very good position here, pulling off all these SCVs. And now he's going to be able to feast on 5 free SCVs. They're all going to go down very quickly. 7 destroyed up to this point. And Welmu's being very aggressive. This attack is going very well. Lucifron only has 1 lone bunker, and it's going to be focused down in a flurry. It's gone in a flash. And unfortunately, these Marines, I don't think are going to be able to do too much. We have 1 Immortal over to the right. Going to get picked up by the SCVs, but the Stalkers are advancing up the ramp. The Immortal and Stalker firepower is just too much for these Marines. We do have a siege tank just recently out of that factory, but it will fall immediately. And these 2 Immortals have done so much damage. The additional 3rd one was destroyed before. We have SCVs constantly being pulled off the line to try and buffer the Marines from damage. They are doing that, but the SCVs are just falling left and right. And now Lucifron is down by 20 supply. There's only 1 lone Marine left. And I think this is going to spell the end of Lucifron. Yes, it is. So game 2 does end a lot quicker than in game 1. Lucifron was able to scout out that something fishy was going on in Welmu's base, or what wasn't happening in Welmu's base, but wasn't able to detect exactly what was coming, and he didn't prepare adequately. And unfortunately, once he lost that first siege tank, and I think even a little bit before then, if he had put up an additional 1 or 2 bunkers, he might have been able to hold the attack, but instead he just goes down. The game ends exactly on the 9-minute mark on the dot. So the series is tied 1-1. Good game by Welmu. We'll have to see if the game's going to be a lot longer, a lot shorter in game 3, and who's going to come out on top in the series overall.